Pastor Phil here with Faith Student Ministries. I'm just going to be Captain Obvious right off the bat. It's no surprise that COVID-19 is on everybody's minds, and we are recalibrating just as everyone else, the school systems, businesses, and families. And so just wanted to take this moment to communicate what's in store with student ministries over the next week, 2, 3, and maybe even months ahead. And so just as the school systems and other locales are putting a pause, so too Faith Bridge and Faith Student Ministries is going to put a pause on all of our on-campus programs for the next 2 weeks. So the 17th through the 30th, campus will be open as far as offices and stuff, but all of our programs are going to be closed just to take precautions as everyone else is. And so that's not to open up the fear factor any more than anyone else, or to join the crazy factory that may be going on in some people's heads and hearts, but to find a balance somewhere in between as we kind of posture ourselves to lead well in the next couple of weeks. As the landscape may change, we don't know, but there's a potential that it may change, and we want to position ourselves well for whatever might lie ahead. And so the 17th to the 30th, the next couple of weeks, again, just so that's everything. Our FSM Wired on Wednesday nights, that's release time Wednesday mornings. It's our Sunday school venues, that's our volleyball and our basketball and our pickleball. All of those things are we're going to just put it on pause for a couple of weeks and recalibrate. Our hope is that we would reboot, at least student ministry wise, on April 1st. That's the first Wednesday after all of that takes place. And that's assuming, schools are back in session and we got the green light to go ahead. And so that's our hope, is that we would reboot April 1st. And I know what you're thinking. You're already thinking, Phil, wait a minute. April 1st, that's April Fool's Day. Yes, I'm aware. And we're also aware that this landscape may change, and we may put our pause or extend our pause a little longer. But our hope is that we would reboot. And rebooting on April 1st would also open us up to Palm Sunday, that following Sunday, and then also Good Friday and our Easter service. And again, that's our hope, is that we'd be able to do that. But we can't guarantee that. We don't know what lies ahead. Kind of praying through that and hoping through that. That's kind of our maybe best case scenario. The alternate scenarios that we're processing is that the reboot would start when maybe the fog clears, and no one really knows when that fog is going to clear. So we're holding loosely all the things that we have planned and programmed in our calendars. We're holding it loosely, knowing that God ultimately is in control. And it's like we're holding the Father's hand through the fog of our own insecurities, because we're secure in our Father's hands. And so I'm thankful, even on the front end, that God's got something bigger at stake here, and looking for His point of view, His perspective, right, His vantage point. And so all of that said, what does FSM, Faith Student Ministries, look like in the immediate future? So we're not meeting for the next couple Wednesday nights. Is there anything, Phil, that we might look forward to? I'm glad you asked. So number one, yes. In fact, I'm meeting tonight with Luke and Michael and Casey. They are up to bat for our Q&R, our question and response, that would normally be taking place. And so if it works out, we're going to record some time with them, edit, and either live stream or have a pre-recorded time so you can hear what's on their hearts as far as a question and response. And so stay tuned for that. I'll keep you posted. So that would be for this Wednesday night. Also know that I've been working behind the scenes for the last few months on archiving a whole bunch of our games and stories and mission trips and so forth on our YouTube channel. I haven't posted anything yet, and maybe possibly this week I can have some of those playlists ready. And the purpose of that is while you've got some cabin fever and you're at home and you're twiddling your thumbs or been on the screen way too long anyways, why not jump on our YouTube page and maybe get some ideas of some icebreakers or games that you can play with your immediate family, or maybe a friend or two if they come over, whatever that looks like. So tune in on Wednesday nights, and then stay tuned on our YouTube channel for maybe some creative ideas. And maybe you've got some you can send them my way, and we can attach there. The third thing, and maybe the most important thing for student ministries, is that, you know what, you're going to have a couple weeks here, and I know you've got some homework, and some teachers haven't given you much, and you're like, man, what am I going to do with all of this time on my hand? You could binge watch the Bible Project, right? You could catch up with your listening and reading on the Bible app. Hey guys, we're only into Joshua at this point, and you can even like listen or watch or read ahead if you want. This is a great opportunity. You know, like, we're taking all the excuses off the table, and you can totally catch up on the Bible Project. It's our 2020 vision for student ministries, and so there's your chance. Okay, all that aside, like calendar-wise, hoping to reboot what you can do for Space Student Ministries. But one other area, or multiple areas, that you can leverage some opportunities in the weeks to come is to think creatively, like outside of the box. Like, how am I going to manage my time? And maybe we'd even start there. I know you're going to hear that from your parents, you're going to hear it from your teachers, you're going to hear it from your coaches, you're going to hear it from a number of people. It's like, this is an opportunity for you to learn some time management skills. And so I'm just going to encourage you not to, like everyone else, don't just sleep in, don't waste your day away, but think of some of those opportunities. And again, like, I'm just going to go through some ideas here. And again, my office is open, and we can visit about that. In fact, if you just, as we check each other and make sure that we're in the clear and not contagious or whatever, who knows, in the next couple of weeks. But I'm open for some coffee, cocoa, or conversation. Let's meet up. Let's do that. Especially if you're finding yourself in cabin fever and you're like, oh man, I'm tipping towards an oppressive or depressive state. Let's connect with Pastor Phil or one of our other staff. Just invite you to that. I want you to be wise with some public opportunities. There's going to be some real opportunities, not like in-house with Faith Student Ministries, but also like, man, where can I serve? Where can I use common sense and honor the authorities that I'm under? But there might be some opportunities to serve directly with like your parents or grandparents or your guardians. What are their needs? Some of them are going to be working, so there's going to be some needs at home, especially if you have younger siblings. And so, just so you hear it from one other voice, get along with your siblings. Like, what does that look like? Especially if you're if you're a high schooler or a junior higher, like, step up into that and help with just the chores around the house, or helping coach them through some of their own studies or tutoring, and take advantage of that. We need you to lead well in your own families. Bring us a calming sense of a presence of that into your own families. Maybe it's let's extend that into some other opportunities. Maybe you've got your license and you can run errands, or maybe you don't have your license and you can still run some errands for those that are more closed up and can't get out. Maybe it's a food run or something like that. Think about that. There might be some need for some meals for some other people, whether you make them or whether you go get them. Speaking of meals, here's my plug for the food shelf. March is the month for that. And as if our food shelf doesn't need help anyways, it seems like we're always behind. That's an area that we can all invest in. I feel like we, of all people, those that know Jesus and are thinking about the giver of good gifts, this isn't a time, and I don't mean this tongue-in-cheek, really. This is not a time for us to hoard supplies. Rather, it's a time for us to be generous and to practice that on a regular basis. And so this is the test that's set before us: is how can we be generous and not just practice scarcity? It is the way, right? And then maybe a more, maybe it seems elusive, and maybe this seems flippant, but how can we pray, like tangibly pray? I don't mean that is just something we should do or have to do. It's like, how can we like take those moments, those anxious moments or those proactive moments, and just pray? And maybe it's like actually praying over the phone or through a text or whatever it is. You're going to have opportunity. I know I'm getting long-winded here. I'm looking forward, if you can't catch that in some of my zeal, that every obstacle, every hurdle gives us an opportunity to step up and to grow up, to mature a little bit. And I think the next couple of weeks will test us there. Again, my office is open. My phone is, you connect with me. I'd love to do that. We are putting together a strategic response team here at church so that we can lead well through the transition here at Faith and in our community. It's not just about Faith Bridge and our church. It is about those that we love, and that's the community that is around us. And maybe that's your teammates, maybe that's some of your teachers, and maybe that's some doctors and nurses and other practitioners, businessmen and women here in town. How can we support them? And so be praying for our strategic response team as we level this out as well and get a game plan for the next week or so. Man, looking forward to the question and responses ahead and what that looks like, the new norm. All right, talk to you soon.